Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live. We have a very special guest on with us tonight, our very own Diamond Upline Phallin Black, and you probably already know her. You guys get to hear from me all the time, and I asked her to come on here and share with you tonight because I wanted you guys to hear from her. You see her name on the leaders board week after week after week. And it has been that way pretty consistently for several years now, and that is a result of duplication. So I thought, who better to talk to us about this topic? We've been going through the 4 pillars. So we've talked about recruiting, we've talked about retention. Tonight I wanted to talk about the 3rd pillar, which is duplication, and I think it definitely can be argued that this is the most important pillar, because without duplication, your business is not going to take off. You can add to it, but you won't multiply to it. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And really, I'm just going to ask Phallin some questions. You guys know I love questions, and just let Phallin share she's from her heart, and she definitely has a lot of business sparks, especially when it comes to this topic. She's just really good at this. And so I'd love for you guys to hear what she has to say on this. So let's start off, Phallin, with question of the day. How do you get people to work the business with you? What are you saying and doing that gets people to want this as bad as you want it?
That is a pretty broad question. So I'll try to stick right to that very question, but how do you get people to want the business? I think it starts from the very beginning. It starts with, if you have somebody coming to you and they ask you what is Plexus, you ask them, well, what are you interested in? What piqued your interest? Was it the business opportunity? Was it the products? And right then and there, this is my favorite way to talk with people, because right then and there, they will either say they're interested in one or the other, but most of the time they're going to say they're interested in the products, but they could also be in the business too, interested in the business too. A lot of times people aren't interested in the business because they don't know about it. They see us post so much about what the products do, and that's something that they can feel, but a business, sometimes that's something new to someone. So when somebody opens that door, even just a little crack, I mean, I will put a star and highlight their name in my planner, because I know like there is a tiny little bit of interest there, but you can run with that. And I think just grabbing onto anything really small, seemingly small like that, and running with it and being excited, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but just, grabbing onto that. That's what they're kind of interested in. So there's a couple other things you can do once you know that, but just wording it like that at the beginning sets you up to know like what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we talked earlier about knowing what people's goals are, and I like how you said that about how to gauge their interest level. Like, even if, like, a lot of people will say, I'm going to use the products first, and if I like it, then maybe I'll share or whatever. But if they're not like flat out turning you down, like, oh no, I'm not interested in a business at all, then you know that there is a tiny little iota of interest there, and you can figure out what their goals are, what their why is. But if they're not jumping in, there's a little bit of interest there, they're not jumping in, it's because there's an objection there. And if you have good conversations with them and ask them good questions, then you can really get to the root of what that objection is. So what are some good questions that you like to ask people to kind of get to know them and figure out what their goals might be, draw them out a little bit?
I mean, I like to just say the products, if they just say they're interested in the products, even if they don't say that they might be interested in the business, I will always say, oh my gosh, the products have totally changed my life. I am healthier than I've ever been. Something a little bit about my story, but this business opportunity, if you have never considered doing something like this, I think everybody needs to do it. It's so simple, and the income potential is crazy. And you get to be your own boss and have fun while you're doing it. When I go on these trips or when I'm working my business, I seriously wonder why everyone isn't doing this. And that's all I'll say. And then I'll just carry on their conversation. I'll just ask them, well, how long have you had constipation issues? What seems to spike your energy crisis or whatever it is. So I just ask a lot of questions and then kind of put little plugs in for the business. And I think just learning to listen to them and see where they're taking the conversation. If they want to take it further into the business, great. Talk more about the business. If they want to keep it to the products, that's fine. You're just little by little going to keep feeding them bits and pieces of information about the business as you go along, because I don't think it's wise to have a bunch of product users. We want to have wholesalers, yes, but we don't stop there. We always go to the next level with them. We always want to get them sharing. And I looked at all my level ones and I have successfully gotten all of them sharing, with a handful of like 2 or 3 that didn't. And I'm not saying they've all become gold or anything, but they all have tried. Some, lack the drive, the motivation. Some are just lazy, so they don't go very far, but they all are like, yeah, I'd like to try this business. So I think that is a pretty good success rate. And it's just really being excited. Just saying, hey, you should try and do this. And then seeing where they want to go with it. I know my cousin, I had wanted her to do, Rochelle, she's an Emerald now, but I had wanted her to do the business with me for a long time. And she just wasn't interested. She didn't think she was losing weight right away, or she didn't think this or that. And then as she stayed on the products and I helped her and I was troubleshooting with her and her mom, she decided one day she wanted to get her products paid for. So I didn't stop there with just getting her products paid for. I could have said, okay, let's share with a couple people. But what I did was I put her in the IPA chat. I said, girl, we've got a lot of products you want to pay for. Let's get right on in here. And I put her right in there with my business builders. Like, you just want your products paid for? Great. This is what you need to do. And at that point, if you have some influence with someone, or if they're a positive, happy person who's coachable, they're just going to be like, okay, sure, put me in there. And I feel like people who struggle with negativity they tend to be the ones that are more difficult, and they just need some personal growth to overcome that. But the ones that are happy, positive, and coachable, they're not going to be like, oh gosh, I don't want to do this. Just pop them in there. And she decided, because of the IPA chat, that she loved doing this. She really just wanted her products paid for, and I mean, the rest is history.
Yeah, Rochelle's definitely a blue, so she loves the people and the relationships and fun. So you just planted seeds that whole entire, because she was a wholesaler for a year. Is that what you said? She was just
Yep, she was. But when she was ready, she knew where to go and what to do, because I had put in her mind. So that we're going to talk about this too, but duplication starts at the beginning and getting on the phone. When you get on the phone with them, you have to put in I do it at the end, but I always say, and by the way, you have a free website, you can make good money, you make 25% commissions back on your own products, because she was ordering over $500. Just put in little things and don't ask them, so do you want to do this? I don't personally ask them, because they're not stupid. They just heard everything I said. If they want to do it, they're going to know where to go. So that's what I did with her and several other people. I mean, even my sister.
Yeah. So I was a product user at first. And then you got me working the business. Do you remember how all that went down? Like how you got me interested working in the business, how you got Cody interested, how you got Tiffany, because it was all around the same time.
Yeah. I remember going to your house. We're just so like-minded. We're into like potty training our kids and making bread, and I was doing this business and you were my friend, so you asked me, and then you asked me to come over and show it to you. And I think it's because I was excited and it was just what I was doing, and we were friends, so you wanted to know what I was doing. So I came to your house with a little notebook and we talked about all of that, and you asked me why I wore long skirts, and I looked at you in your shorts like, oh, she's naughty over there. So that's all I remember. And then you joined. You're like, I'm on
Hey, how's those tables? That was hilarious.
Now you're like, she should put those skirts back on.
I remember you sending me, like, you were excited, you hit silver, and I'm like, that's cool. I mean, I was your friend, so I was definitely cheering you on. I wanted you to be successful, but I mean, I didn't consider that for myself. But then what had happened was you showed me Sonia Dudley's paycheck. And you're like, she's making this, like, I know her. She's making this, I'm going to make this. Like, you were dead serious. And I just remember thinking, like, I would have never looked at Sonia Dudley's paycheck and thought, that's something that I can do. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing that too. How do I do it? Sign me up. I would have thought, that's something for special people, or like something that otherly people do. I would have never considered myself capable of doing that, but you really believed that you were going to do that. And you really made me believe that I could do it too, somehow. Like, I didn't think I could, but you really did think that. And your belief was contagious. Like, you were a silver ambassador. Okay, you were not diamond at that point. You were a silver who knew you were going to be a diamond. And I think that was the key, because your belief has always been very contagious. I think that's the key.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it was with Cody too. Tiffany, I mean, all of my level ones really. So when I look at people, I just look for different traits that could make them successful. And it's different for all of them. Brittany, I thought to myself, she loves to learn. She is a stay-at-home mom. I feel like I could help her do what I'm doing. Cody, she had this mom's group with 50 people in it. And I thought she could sign up all of those girls. She wants to send out little stick packs to this whole group of moms. I was like, Cody's got a mom group. I'm going to Diamond, y'all. Tiffany, this girl can talk. She can talk to a stranger from Craigslist in her driveway all night. She's amazing. I like her. We can hang out. We can have fun. So it was different for everybody. Like, oh, the other thing I thought about Cody was she takes cute pictures. Like, I just grabbed onto a few tiny things. My sister, I was like, she's cute. She has influential friends. She's going to sign up cute and influential women and who like to buy nice things, who are going to want to make some money to do that. And, you know, with each person, I just grabbed onto a few small things and I was excited about it. I was like, bam, we're going diamond. I'm so excited. And then Brittany, I don't know if y'all know all of our story, but she kind of quit on me for a little bit. She and I was a little negative of a leader, and I vented to my downline, and it wasn't a good situation. But once I got everything figured out, we were still friends, and I just kept talking. And I remember thinking, little by little, she's getting closer every day. She's coming back. And I was just excited by every little bit of progress. She asked me one or two questions, and I was like, next month she is coming back. And I was excited, and I would tell her little things. I was like, girl, I found out what Kristen Abart's doing. She's selling something called a triplex. She's not doing just slim. She's not doing accelerator. This is why she's successful. And I would just take everything that I was learning and seeing and telling everyone, like, this is where we're going. It was like a no-brainer. And at this point, when I had found Cody and Tiffany and Brittany got back on board, all of these workers came after I had lost my points at gold. So I wasn't looking at the fact that I had lost all those people. I lost all my AB customers because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't following up with them. I was selling the wrong products. And honestly, I had so many people coming in. I just couldn't keep up with them. But I didn't think about that. I was looking to where I was headed. And I remember very clearly when I met Tiffany, I told her where Kristen Abart was, and that was where I was headed. And I said, if she can do this, girl, you can do it too. And I would just say little things like that all the time. It was constantly pouring belief and just telling them what I was doing. It wasn't like, you know, you want to think about doing this? We could get you posting. It was just like, you need to do this with me. Here's what these people are doing. Why aren't you doing this? And I remember Lori Welch saying, like, anybody would be stupid to not do this. And that was kind of like my mindset. Like, I really believed in what I was doing. And it was because I was looking towards where I was going and not where I had come from. Not from my failures, not from my mistakes. But I was thinking today, I was just thinking about something I was going to post. And I was like, you know, my answer was, because I can. Why am I wearing pajama bottoms and a nice shirt when I'm here on this call? Because I can. And that's what I thought. Like, I'm going to be a diamond because I can. It would never occur to me that I couldn't. So I think your belief and your confidence is what's going to make people want to follow you. And the whole fake it till you make it doesn't mean go buy a Lexus or a Louis Vuitton because you're going to look like a diamond. It has nothing to do with that at all. I didn't look like a diamond. I didn't even know how to do my makeup. I went through this big, huge eyebrow phase, and I was like a mess. Like, I don't know what I was doing. And it's not about that. Fake it till you make it means you're a silver, but you believe you're a diamond, and you're going to carry yourself like that. That's not to say that I could do videos or talk like I can now. I've definitely grown and improved, but I believe back then I was just as good as I am now. And I believe I'm as good now. You just have to believe in yourselves. You can't doubt what you're doing because of your past or because of your present. Um, Tiffany didn't know how much money I was making. When she asked, I said, it don't matter how much I'm making, girl. I'm going to tell you about Kristen Abar and her whole team. Like, I just moved right past it because I didn't care what I was making. I knew I was not going to stay there long. So don't look at your points. Don't look at what you've lost. Grab onto every single join with excitement. I don't care what they look like, how old they are. If you guys aren't diamond, you don't have a choice to be picky right now. If you don't have 15 people wanting to be trained by you and you got a new join last week, you're going to grab onto everything that girl or guy can do successfully, and you are going to run with them. If you treat your team and the new joins like your next rock star, they're going to live up to it. And I started telling myself I had the fastest growing team in Plexus and everyone wanted this business. Because before I was saying my team sucked and nobody wanted this. And when I started treating every new join and everyone I was talking to and assuming like they wanted this, they all wanted it. And it's because of how I treated them.
Posture. Yeah. So a couple things I wanted to pull out everything you just said. Um, your runners, none of us looked like Jules. Like none of us looked like rock stars. But I love how you believed in every one of us for different reasons, but you're always seeing the best in people and seeing what their potential is, and like not what they are right now, but what they could be. And your belief can carry people a long way. I know your belief has carried me a very long way. And obviously, at some point, people's belief has to become their own. I mean, it just flat out does. I've had to do a lot of personal development to build my own belief. But in the beginning, it was Phallin's. I believed Phallin when I didn't believe in myself. So I believed in her belief in me. And so I appreciated that in her as a leader, that she had that solid belief. And then the other thing, a lot of people don't know your story, so I'm just going to briefly tell everybody that in the beginning, Phallin signed up like 85 people. They were all just wholesalers or customers, and she lost every single one of them. And you said something on the phone, Phallin, earlier that I loved about how you basically feel better about offering a business to people and an opportunity for them to make money than you do about taking their money, just offering them a product only. Like you feel better about that. So elaborate on that.
Yeah. So when I started, I was broke. I knew the products were affordable because I knew everybody had more money than I did. They all had less kids and their spouses had better paying jobs, or so I assumed. So I I didn't think the products were expensive. I didn't have that hang up at all, but I would rather, even still now, I feel more comfortable reaching out about the business because I feel like I'm giving them something. I'm not taking their money. I mean, I am technically giving them health when I sell them a triplex, but it's still asking them, hey, order from me. But when you are giving them a $34.95 business opportunity, you are giving them the potential to make $500,000 a year. And to me, I don't know, health is very important to me. So it's not that money is more important, but you cannot have good health if you have no money. I'm sorry, but it is hard to afford healthy food. You're going to go buy the 99-cent eggs instead of the eggs that are full of omegas that cost $7 a dozen. It's just how it is. And I know because I've been there. So to me, money can change their health and their lives. So I love to offer the business opportunity. But that being said, just like you don't want people just using the products and not sharing the business, you don't want people just sharing the business and not using the products. They do need to be a product of the product. So it goes hand in hand, but I I don't understand why some people have a hard time leading with the business, because to me, it's more of a giving rather than a taking. So that's something that has always been in my mindset. And I think that's part of why I do have a lot of level 1 workers.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, how important do you think it is to be a good listener?
It's not one of my best skills, y'all. That, along with offering water or food when people come into my house, they've been here for 2 hours and they're like, "Can we have a drink?" And I'm like, "God, I need like a note wrote on my wrist when I have company over." I feel like the worst person ever. And then I'm like, "You want me to cook you dinner?" It just doesn't come to my mind. So listening is a skill that you have to develop. And sometimes you have to slow down and shut your mouth and open your ears, because those of us who like to talk, or those of us who are half listening because we already have the next answer ready, or we're so nervous we're not going to know what to say, we're trying to listen and talk at the same time. You have to slow down and you have to listen to what they are saying. And sometimes, you can go back and evaluate a conversation once you've already stepped away and you're like, darn it, I should have done this different. And that's fine. As long as you're learning, mistakes don't bother me. Make them all day long. Just learn from them. Seriously. So listening to people, you have to ask questions in order to listen. So being a good question asker, is important. Just in building relationships. And that's something I've had to practice. So learning how to ask questions, it's really just about caring about their life. So when they say my health goals, well, I have IBS and cancer runs in the family and my nails, they break off all the time. Don't jump right into, okay, I got products for you. You need the triplex. Here's what I do. Be like, oh my gosh, that's awful. I can't imagine living with IBS. I can't imagine how that's affected your life. How long have you struggled with this? Is that something that runs in the family? What treatments have you done to be able to, move past this? Have they worked? Just asking. I ask people, because I'll get a lot of questions like, hey, what should I say to this? And I'm like, well, what do you think you should say? What questions are in your mind? Like, if somebody's not joining, you're asking me, like, why aren't they joining? Have you asked them? Just ask them questions and then listen to what they're saying. And I think it takes practice.
Yeah, I love that about asking questions, because I really do think that is the key to getting people to catch the vision. You can talk about your success or somebody else's success, but until they see it as relevant to them and their lives, then they're not going to jump. They're not going to care about, posting on Facebook or watching this training video or that, if they don't have a why to do that. And sometimes it just takes a couple of pointed questions to get people to think about, well, what would I do with $420 right now? Or what would I do with $1,500 right now? What do I want my life to look like in a year? Am I content with the way my life is exactly as it is right now? Like, if I was living the exact same way in 5 years that I'm living right now, would I be okay with that? And if not, am I willing to change it? Just things like that. Get people to think these thoughts. And then you show them how you have a solution to whatever it is that they want. And I love too, Phallin, how you talked about how you assume that everybody wants more money. Like, it doesn't matter how successful they are or how broke they are. There's not a such thing as a person who doesn't need more money. Now, what they do with the money is, different things can motivate people, but the bottom line is this is a business and people need money. Like, you don't have to have it to live, but it's pretty close up there to oxygen. So, and most people do feel like they need more of it, not just want more of it, but most people do feel like they need more of it. So that's good. What about, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Another thing with the listening is, don't take their first answer. So I had somebody, a level 2, saying, well, she just wants ProBio 5. She just wants ProBio 5 because she doesn't know that she needs the triplex. She just doesn't know. You would need to educate them. They are saying that they don't need more money, or you're looking at their page assuming they don't need more money, but I make a lot of money, guys. It's not enough money because I have 5 kids and I want to save. I won't have enough money until everything's paid for and I have money saved and I have all these savings accounts. I just don't think that there's such a thing as not needing money. I don't. Being in my position now, going from broke to having money, I'm still okay with having more money. Not to buy more things, but to be able to help other people, to be able to give people money instead of loaning them money, and to be able to save for my kids for college. So don't you need to assume that everyone needs a business, and just like we assume that everyone needs a triplex because we know they don't just need a probiotic, they just don't know it yet. So handling objections is huge.
Yeah, and when you believe those things, if you really believe that everybody needs this business, and you really believe that everybody needs more money, and you have a good way for them to do it, like you really believe you are the solution to their problems, guess how you're going to talk to them? You're going to talk to them like you're the solution to their problems, right? Like you have the solution. And that comes across to people. It is contagious when you have that rock solid belief. So, that leads us to the next point, which is excitement. So talk to them a little bit about excitement and how, like, what should they be excited about and how do you communicate that excitement?
I think that people should be excited about everything, every little thing. And that's not necessarily because I'm an excitable person. I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know what I am, but I just know that I nobody wants to do what someone's doing if they're just blah, like, hey, you need this or you need that. It's like, girl, you're gonna die without this stuff. Like, you really need to do this. This opportunity is amazing. I think excitement and confidence are two of the most important things to have around you as an aura. I'm not always perfect. I get very in my mind, especially when I'm out and about and I have to make a forced effort to be present. But to be excited when you have someone jump on board. I mean, think of yourself when you got your products in the mail. Sometimes you just got to remove yourself out of your body and out of your mind and put yourself in your shoes as you were Brittany Howard the day she joined, or just put yourself in their position. You're excited. You're starting new products. You're excited. So be excited with them. And I'm just going to say, those people who are negative and they're not excited about anything, I have very few people I don't know what the heck to do with, but that group of people, I don't know if there's any hope for them. Like, they just need to get it together themselves. So if there's any people I don't work with, it's people who aren't coachable and people who are negative. I mean, I'll work and answer questions, but I know they need some personal growth. I'm going to recommend the next book study. Because there's not much you can do with that. No one's going to want to follow them. They're just not. So I don't remember what the question was, but if I answered it, we can move on. If not, tell me it again.
We were talking about being excited. So you said on the phone earlier, I really like this. You said that you're not just excited about your new join. You are excited for your new join. Like, you get excited for what this is about to do for them, whether it's with the products or the opportunity, both. But you're excited that you got a new join, because a lot of people, like, they don't get excited when they get a new join anymore. Like, guys, you realize every single time you get a new join, you just opened up an entire new market. Every new join is a brand new market. Not just your level ones, your level twos, threes, whatever. Every time a new person enters your organization, that is a new potential market. So you should be excited about that. But not just that, but being excited for them. Like you said, just like being excited with them, for them, what the potential for this is for their health, for their finances, for their family, whatever. So I just wanted to bring that out. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, you have to be excited for what this is going to do for them. And the longer you do this business, the more it's easier to go through the motions. Like, I got to join. All right, let's get them on a 3-way call. Okay, they're tagged in this post. It's just going through the motions. You have to be excited for them because it's new and exciting for them. And they're going to feed off of that contagiousness. So don't skip the introductory call. I mean, when we were growing really fast, and I'm Diamond now, so it's totally different, and I'm still growing, but when you're going for the rank. So we were just like, we're like, got a new join. Let's get on the phone. We're like, okay, let's do it tonight. And we're excited. Every new join, it's like, oh my gosh, we got another join. Let's get on the phone. It was like that, like all day. It felt like we were high. I've never been high, but I just imagine what it would feel like. It's just constant excitement because every new join, it's potential. I remember when Jamie signed up and I told Tiffany, I'm like, we need to get on the phone with her. And she was just like normal, like didn't know what she was in for. But I'm like, girl, you're doing this business with us. You just had 3 people join you just because you want your products paid for. You are going diamond. And I was so excited for her. And she's like, I am. And I'm like, yes, because you're amazing. And look at all your friends and look at all these people following you. And so she's like, okay, I'm excited because we were. It's like when you see a big group of people eating at a restaurant and there's 100 people there. You're like, what's going on over there? You don't want to be where it's boring and there's only one person there. You think you're going to get food poisoning or something. You have to go where the big group is, where the excitement is, where there's life. So be that life for your new joins. Don't just be like, okay, I got to join. Got them in the team page. Let's see where it takes them. No, you really have to take them there. I had a level 1 who had her level 1 wanting to quit this week. And she's like, I'm just going to let her quit. I'm sick of dealing with her. I ain't got time for this. And I'm like, what rank are you? Like, you don't have the choice to just not work with someone. I mean, she's not a silver or gold. She's decently high ranking, but you don't have a choice to just not work with someone. Handle her objections, build some belief in her, be excited, remind her why she started, and tell her this is normal for people to quit the products and to need to find another runner. Like, this is normal. And I know that's all I ever wanted to know was this is normal. It's normal that Kristen Abart messaged 300 people and only 10 responded. I'm like, heck, if she's got those numbers as a diamond, I'm doing pretty good. I can do this. And I think that's all that people really need. This girl was excited. She got to join the next day. She was excited again. She was ready to quit. She just had it. She felt defeated. And she's got another join signing up tonight. So that's how it goes. You can't just decide you don't want to work with somebody. Like, you give them your last shot and you do the best you can. You know, that's different. But don't back down so easily. I feel like a lot of people back down or they're just blah. Okay, we'll just go sign someone else up. No, I don't do that.
Okay, talk about how do you stay excited during the your points slide backwards, or somebody quits on you, or the business comes with highs and lows. Any business does. So as an entrepreneur, how do you persevere, and not just persevere, but stay excited about the future? How do you stay contagious?
Mindset is huge. It's mindset. I had a pep talk with my little sister this week. She was sick of her kids waking up all the time and she wasn't getting any sleep. I'm like, honey, you just got 8 hours. You're fine. You're just telling yourself you're exhausted, but you're really not. And I said, you know what? You're going to have to do what I had to do. You're going to have to embrace that this is just your life right now. You cannot have a set schedule with a newborn. It's going to be up and it's down. You have your priorities. You're just going to need to get them done, and you need to change your mindset. And it worked. I mean, it's worked for me. So mindset is huge. You don't look at the point loss. You look at the new join. You look at the 4 new followers on Instagram. Don't tell me you want 400. Look at the 4 that you have. Hold onto and grab onto any potential. Look to where you're headed with excitement, but it really goes back to belief in yourself. And I don't know, I think this is something that's developed. I don't necessarily think that it's my personality because my sister has a different personality than me and we have the same parents. But my parents definitely taught us that we can do whatever we want to do. We can be whoever we want to be. And we saw it with our dad. My dad built this huge business, lost everything, started from the bottom up. He's paying cash, building a house. My dad doesn't take no for an answer. If I had a flat butt, I'd be growing a booty, y'all. Like, I am going to do it. And nobody's going to tell me that I can't. I don't care what it is that I want. I'm going to figure out how to make it happen. And I hate it when people say I can't. I've had some challenges this week and I just don't let it defeat me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to figure that out. If she can do it, I can do it. And I'm not competitive with other people, but I'm competitive with myself. I don't like the feeling of defeat or feeling like I lost. So when I see or saw my points go backwards, when I don't see my name on the leaderboard, I am going to not accept that defeat. It's going to happen. I'm going to get back to where I was. I'm going to get to gold and get to senior gold and all of these things. Yeah, I was close to senior gold on my reentry. I had a level 1 who had a moment, and there was no bringing her back from that moment yet. She will come back. And I went back to gold. It is normal part of business. I need to be getting more joins. I need to be recruiting like crazy over there. I have other goals though. I want my sister in Hawaii. I want all my level 1s to be diamond. I want Brittany, Tiffany, diamond this year. So I'm helping them. So it's all about setting different goals. If your goal is to rank up, but you're sitting there on the couch enjoying movie night every night this December, I'm going to say that's great. If you want to enjoy your December and you don't want to be diamond next year, or you don't want to be ruby, go ahead, enjoy your December. But if you want this, you're going to need to make some sacrifices. And, I was thinking today, just when we have kids, we sacrifice. We get rid of the sports car. We'll have that again when we're 70 or whatever. We sacrifice our time to raise our children. We sacrifice a lot of things to lose weight. We sacrifice the milkshakes every day. There are things that I would love to do. I would love to eat Little Debbie snack cakes all day and boxed macaroni and cheese. It's so good, but it doesn't give me the body that I want. So there's always give and take. Even in your business, I don't see it as a sacrifice to give up different personal time things like TV or traveling to Europe or whatever. I'm looking at building a house, and the builder said, this isn't your year to travel. This is your year to save. That's a sacrifice, but it's going to get me what I want in the end. So if this is what you guys want, you need to make the sacrifices and stop seeing it as a sacrifice. I never saw it as a sacrifice to grow my business as fast as I did by not doing a lot of things. I focused on sleeping, eating, my kids, and plexus. I mean, that was pretty much all I did. And I don't regret it. I'll hear people say they can't work their full-time job, plus be a mom, plus be a good wife, and work their plexus business because they just don't have time. You're going to need to make time, or you're going to continue that cycle over and over and over again, and you're never going to have the time that you want to be the mom that you want to be. I have all the freedom that I want. I don't have to do this call tonight. I do it because I want to, and I love to. I don't have to work. I understand that if I want my paycheck to grow, I do need to work. If I want my team to rank up, I need to work. But my paycheck is pretty darn stable and just keeps going up year after year, month after month. And it has been. But if you guys want this, don't view it as a sacrifice, because it's really not a sacrifice. It's a choice. You are exchanging one thing for something better. And if that's a hard time for you to think that, just work on your belief. And again, negativity. Stop telling yourself, oh, I should be playing dolls with my daughter instead of sending messages. Stop saying that you should be cooking gourmet meals for your husband instead of whatever it is, fried chicken or something simple. You're making trade-offs now to live the life that you want later, and you have to believe that that later is going to happen. I just had that talk with someone tonight. I said, why aren't you working? Do you not believe you can be in Hawaii next year? What are you doing? If you want it, why are you not working for it? And I think it's mindset and belief.
Absolutely. It is 100% of the time. It is. You do have to believe that it's going to happen, because if you don't, then it does feel like a sacrifice. But if you know where you're headed, then you know that you are doing this for your family or whatever, that you are choosing the best over the good, right? So the sacrifices are not, they don't feel so sacrificial, like you said. So that's good. Oh, the student teacher example from Maxwell's book. Remember that example that where they told the teachers, okay, you are the top rated teachers, and you are also giving you the top rated students, and then at the end of the year, They told them, actually, we gave you the lowest performing students and you were just average quality teachers, but now your low performing students now have the highest grade averages, and it was because of what they believed. So if you believe where you're headed, you're going to behave accordingly. You're going to talk to people accordingly. You are going to project what you believe on other people, whether that is a good or a negative thing. If you believe you're going straight to diamond and they can too, that's how you're going to talk to them. If you believe, I don't have what it takes to get this person a diamond, I don't even have what it takes to get myself to diamond, then even though you might be saying the right words, you are projecting what you believe onto other people, whether you realize it or not. So you definitely have to get your belief up there. And I mean up there. So then there is hope. If you feel like you're not there yet, you can build it, because 4 years ago, I wasn't there either. I didn't have that belief. And like I said, I was going off of Phallin's belief. I did have to develop my belief, and it was something I had to work for. It didn't just occur to me. I didn't just wake up one day and have an epiphany that all of a sudden I believe. It was something I had to develop. So it can be developed. You read books about mindset. You surround yourself with people who are going where you want to go, and you cut out the ones who are not. You don't surround yourself with negative people. You cut out the negative influence. You read testimonies. You watch diamond documentaries. You just do those things, and you can build your belief. It's definitely something that can be developed. Confidence, all that stuff. Okay, so really quickly, I wanted to get into the nuts and bolts real quick of like, what does good duplication look like? What does that actually mean? What does it look like in reality to be duplicating? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I still refer to the duplication checklist that Brittany and I made. I don't even know what rank we were, but one or both of us were jewels. I think she was almost emerald and I was diamond. I don't know. But I think you just start with getting on the phone with people, for sure. Get on the phone with them. Make sure they are in the team pages. Make sure they're in the 3-way chats. If you can't get people on the phone, but everybody else is getting people on the phone, there's something wrong with you. It's not the fact that, oh, my people don't get on the phone. No, honey, you just don't know how to get them on the phone. Oh, my people don't want to be in the 3-way chat or in the team page, or they're just wholesalers. Okay, well, we got a lot of wholesalers in there. We got a lot of people in there. Just put them in there. You don't ask them. You just put them in there. So I think those things are important. Just being on the phone, making sure they're on the triplex. What else did we talk about? Those are just the super basic things.
Yeah, making sure everybody has a welcome pack, making sure that everybody gets introduced to the upline team pages. If they're interested in the opportunity, watch the getting started video. Make sure you're sending them instructions for taking their products. Make sure you are that everybody, not just yourself, obviously you yourself need to be doing the 4 touches with all of your people in the first month, but as your people get joins, you also have to train them to do the same thing. So duplication just means that everybody on your team needs to be doing exactly what you are doing. And everything that you are doing needs to be duplicatable. Because if what you're doing is working for you, but it's not working for your team, it's not working. Because duplication is the key to your business. So if it doesn't work, like if you're doing something that your level 7 cannot do, then you don't need to do it. Because that's not going to benefit your team in the long run. So whatever you do, make sure that the simpler, the better. Like, don't overcomplicate things. It really is a simple business. There's only a few things that you need to do really well. So keep it really simple. And then we have an onboarding system where it tells you exactly what to do in their first 2 days after they've joined, whether they're just a wholesaler or they're interested in the opportunity, and then the first 7 days and the first 30 days. So you should be doing all of those things with every single join. And then also, as your team gets joins, you're telling them, okay, this is what you need to do with every single join, and so on and so on. So that is duplication. But really,
yeah,
sorry, I was just going to say, duplication really starts from the very beginning, and nobody's going to duplicate anything if you are not casting the vision and creating that desire for them to run with the business with you. So that's where duplication starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just when you sign somebody up, what I do with people is I will do stuff for them and then we'll do it together and then I'll send them on their own to do it. It's kind of like training kids to do the toilet. Like, okay, watch mommy. All right, let's do it together. Now you have a mini version of you who can clean the kitchen or who can do the laundry. So that's what you want. You want to train people well enough to send them on their own. And I love listening to my jewels or other leaders on my team because I'm like, yeah, sounds just like me. And not just like me, but just like Plexus. Like they know what they're doing. You send them off to duplicate, to multiply even more because you don't want to be the only one doing this. So that's what duplication really is how did you get to gold? How did you get to senior gold? Help your level ones get to gold. So much of our business, it's like our faith in Christianity. You have to have faith. I had no idea how I was getting to diamond. I just knew that I was. And it's like Peter walking on water. He's like, bam, I'm going to do it. He just believes and he is, and he's walking. But then he loses sight of Jesus and where he's going. Like Jesus is like the goal. That's where he was headed. And then he starts to sink. And like Brittany was saying about negative influences, those are things that can sidetrack you to take your eyes off where you're going. Negative voices in your own head, staying so busy that you don't have time to work your business, just constantly this busy, busy, busy American lifestyle. These are all things that sidetrack you from where you're headed. So I think the other thing I was going to say too with the flow chart for getting people to silver is always pushing people a little bit further than where they want to be. If you look at it, they say like invite them to the 7-day challenge. If they don't want to be in the 7-day challenge and invite their friends, invite them to the next one. And it's just kind of keep at them until they get to where they need to be, because eventually they will.
Yeah, and she's talking about the chart. It's Brooke Hemingway made it up. It looks like this, and it's in your back office now. I think under resources or library or something, but it's called Developing Silvers. And guys, if you can get the silver, you can get the diamond. Do you know why? Because if you hit silver, you can help somebody else hit silver. And if you can help people hit silver over and over and over, that's how you go diamond. It really is that simple. Power of 3. If you haven't watched the video, go watch it. But if you're silver, then you need to think about, okay, how did I get here and how can I help somebody else do that? That is duplication. And then you just do that and you do it and you do it and you do it.
Yep. It really is that simple, you guys. It really is. And if you've lost sight of where you're going, or if you've gone down in points, or you just kind of gotten off track, the way to get back on is excitement. Y'all know what to do. Every one of us knows what to do. I have people who've been in this business so long, like, I just don't know what to do. Yeah, you do. You already did it. The thing that goes missing isn't your skill set, it's your mindset and where you're at. You may have lost a runner who you thought was going to be emerald, and they're not. That doesn't have to spoil your excitement or your motivation. So that is a choice. And that's where I would start, is with excitement and confidence and looking ahead and not where you've been. And that is what's going to cause duplication, is being contagious.
Yep. That's it. All right. Thank you again, Phallin. I appreciate you taking your time. I know you're crazy busy, have a lot going on. And I just really, really appreciate you pouring into us tonight. This was really helpful, and I know everybody got a lot of value out of it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will call it a night. Bye.
Thanks, lady.